Right. All right. Well, hi, Michael Jaffee. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Michael Jaffee is a friend and client of the Bauman Group. He is the founder of the Automated Outdoor Solutions of New England. Stop me if I'm wrong about any of this. You supply robotic mowers to homeowners, businesses, and golf courses. An attorney by training, this career chapter has been dedicated to bringing this cutting-edge sustainable solution to Dover and every Boston suburb. You're also a Dover resident, husband and dad to two recent Dover Sherburne grads. So that's my intro.
Thanks
yeah.
for the intro.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
well,
the Bauman Group just, we're really, Dover has lots of entrepreneurs, lots of independent business owners, people doing starting next chapters or first chapters, but entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well in our town. So I love to find out what people are up to. And I know this has been going on for the last several years for you and very relevant to Dover residents. So why don't you just start off by telling us what is Automated Outdoor Solutions?
Sure. Well, again, thanks for having me and reaching out. I started Automated Outdoor Solutions of New England a few years ago, really as an outgrowth. First, I bought a robotic mower for our own home, predominantly because of the noise from landscaping around, and it just the incessant droning. It was driving me crazy, and particularly, that was magnified through COVID, where we're all home, and so we hear the landscapers during the day. And after having the robot mowing our lawn for some time, I thought everybody needs one of these. First of all, they're kind of like conversation quiet. You really can't hear, even if they're mowing in the middle of the night, the windows are open because the weather's nice. You can't hear them outside. They're very, very quiet. They're very clean, zero emissions. And our lawn looked better than it ever looked before. From an environmental standpoint, one of the things that is frequently overlooked is the pollution that's caused by outdoor equipment. Unlike motor vehicles, they're not regulated. And many of the gas engines are engines that are burning oil and emitting a tremendous amount of toxic chemicals in addition to the noise. So initially, I wanted to start a company as a non-for-profit just to try to help grow this industry in the United States. In Europe, robotic mowers have been out for 30 years now, 30 years this year.
Oh, wow.
Husqvarna came out with their first robotic mower in Sweden. And we're still playing catch up. So Gyula, my wife, when she talks with some of her colleagues abroad, or she's at conferences abroad, and she talks about what I'm doing, and that's, oh yeah, robotic mowers, of course, everybody here has one.
Right.
In Germany, in Switzerland, in Sweden, and in the United States, it's the areas where they're prevalent are areas where there have been penetration by dealers. So my thinking was, well, I'm going to buy a bunch of these mowers on the internet, used mowers. I can get them inexpensive. I'm going to buy a kind of a wire trencher, which is how the first generation or most recent generation of mowers would get installed, with essentially an underground dog fence.
Oh, right.
And I'm going to install these for municipalities and schools free, for them to sample and to see if they like them. And if they like them, then part of what I would offer up, again, without charges or profit, is to connect them with a dealer who could then supply them on a broader basis, not just a one-off to do a demo.
I see.
What I found that there weren't any dealers in our area that were full-service dealers. So that was an opportunity. All right, Michael, you just need to do this yourself.
I see.
And so that's what I started doing.
Okay.
And initially reaching out to residents and providing mowers either on a purchase or a service basis. We got some pretty nice traction there locally. And then we also, or I had reached out to some landscapers, and particularly some local landscapers who I've offered to essentially do the subcontract out, or they can subcontract the mowing out to me.
I see.
So when you come with your ground crews, all you need to do is the string trimming and the hardscape blowing and be on your way. The agreement with those landscapers is that if you have one of my robots on the property, you need to use battery tools and not gas tools for the balance of what you're doing. Other than seasonal cleanups, and that's what they are doing, and it's working out really well. And so now we've kind of progressed onto, we're still, very happy serving our local Metro West residential customers. We're also in the larger New England, New York region, serving municipalities, private schools, universities on a broader scale to mow, bigger space.
Got it. That's so interesting. I'm just going back to what that the first pain point was really the noise. The noise was really what grated you, like kind of,
the noise is really, the noise is really what, and then, in kind of getting smart on what the mowers do, the other attributes, environmental attributes, I mean, that really was the driver for me, is that these things really are a tremendous benefit for our environment. Are they carbon neutral? No. They have lithium ion batteries. They're using electricity. They're sipping electricity. It's low voltage electricity. So they're using a little bit of electricity. A average residential robotic mower may cost about $13 a year in electricity, for the whole season.
Right.
But then you also have, there are minerals that are used, the lithium ion that are used in the batteries. There's plastic in the mower. There's steel in the mower. In the circuit boards, there's plastic and metals. So it's not as though it is kind of carbon free.
Right.
But there's zero gas emissions. Where it's not using a lot of electricity. There, you don't have the noise emissions, and that noise is actually, not only is it grating, but it's for workers, it's dangerous. Landscapers typically have hearing loss at young ages for understandable reasons. It's loud. So the initial kind of initial uptake for it for me, and our kind of guiding motivation continues to be the sustainability, and figuring out how to kind of get more of these zero emission products out into our communities. And so that's
I want to just share a picture. That's okay. So, let's see if I go here. See if I can do this. Let me go. All right, I'm going to have to go back to this in a second, but can you show us like what the physical one looks like?
Sure. You want, because I have one here.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
And what I was just kind of mentioning to you earlier is that these mowers look really small outside. It's really big inside, but this mower that I'm going to show is this is a pre-production model of the latest version of a Husqvarna mower that is I'm going to be ordering these up actually in February for delivery, probably in April. So these will be available. I've already kind of checked it out, and these pass muster. They're really pretty neat. But I'm going to kind of back up and
Yeah.
show. This is about the size of it.
Wow.
It looks big, but this particular mower is rated to handle a property of approximately 2 acres. 2 acres of grass, not the property. And when the companies are rating mowers for the size of maintenance, pretty consistently, the size of the property assumes that it's a perfect rectangle, it's flat, and the mower can work 24/7, which is very unusual that we have that situation. So we will kind of look at a particular property and then recommend a brand, make and model of mower that will be most appropriate for that property. We'll do the appropriate derating and sizing and everything else, so it works properly. The cutting disc underneath.
Oh yeah.
The actual that circle, and maybe we'll put it up here so you can see a little bit. The steel circle here is not the cutting disc. That is actually the protective guard, and the blades on it. And this is a Husqvarna, but this is really pretty consistent across brands. That's what the blade will look like. Let me try to get that right in front of the camera. It's essentially like a box cutter.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah, yeah.
There are razor blades on both sides, and it's ovalized in the middle, but there's a screw that holds that in, and the blade is not tight. So you see how that spins?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so it's and when the cutting disc spins, the centrifugal force pushes those blades out. So we have approximately this much exposure of the blade when they're out. Now, what's the benefit of having these blades that are not fixed? Well, if it comes in contact with anything, it just pivots in. It doesn't damage anything. It also doesn't damage itself, so they last longer. These are super, super safe. We have these installed in schools, in private schools, in public schools, municipalities. Somebody comes around and tries to get their hand underneath or foot, it can't reach. You can see that the setback, and the chassis is close enough to the ground where you can't get a whole arm in. If somebody then tries to tilt it to lift it up a little bit, this cutting disc will immediately stop.
I see.
And so the blades are no longer exposed. And if they are exposed, it's just like that, right? It's just kind of flicking back and forth. And there's even with an animal, there's detection of, if it's hitting something or running. This particular mower, different mowers have different obstacle detection. This particular mower has radar on front. And so it will detect an obstacle and either slow itself down and gently bump into it, or just not bump it and turn and go a different direction, depending on what the setting is. So everything is, we can't really see that anymore, but everything is the top of the hover is on a kind of a moving chassis. So if it bumps, it senses that bumping, and it's going to go in a different direction.
Got it. Michael, I'm curious about the economics of it, thinking about just from that lens, right? Like the cost to when you're in these communities with 1 acres, 2 acres. And of course that's not all grass, but thousands of dollars that year in, year out that a homeowner is investing in keeping your lawn trim. So one thing you said that I like too is that like if you invest in this path, that your lawn will never be more perfected in terms of the beauty or the like optimal height, right? Because
and sorry, I didn't really do a thorough explanation of that up front, but the paradigm change with these mowers is it's not that you're not sending it out to mow on a particular day. It's mowing every day, and it does its work. It's almost, you think about it, we have, depending on the mower, either 3 or 5, some of them may have 6 of these it's almost like, okay, it's going and cutting grass with scissors all day.
Yeah.
And it is driving around. It's not driving around very fast. And it's kind of like a turtle, it's slow and steady, covering the entire lawn. So when we talked about this, maintaining 2 acres of grass, that would be over the course of 2 days, it being mowing around the clock. It's just always mowing. And if you're, for some reason, you want to park it, you can. If you're having a party or something like that, or the kids are playing out back, you just send it to bark and you resume it. But otherwise, you would just keep it mowing all the time, so that yes, indeed, instead of having, okay, the landscaper's coming every week, so the lawn's going to look great day 1, day 2, it's still going to look great.
Right.
And then it starts to get long, and then it gets down again. Well, what these are doing is they're out every day, so that every 2 days, every blade of grass is going to be covered, and it's going to be cut. So the grass is going to look always cut to the height that is set on the app, and you can vary that height, setting on the app, how, based on the season, how you want it to look. It'll be a clean pattern mow all the time. So it's no longer a once a week or every other week mow. It's an every day mow.
Right.
It's only because it's so frequent, it's only taking off a little bit of clippings each time, not, a big piece.
Right.
And all of those clippings fall right to the soil, and they provide nutrient, nitrogen, and they provide water. So you need less irrigation, less fertilization. That's why you're also going to get, one of the reasons why you're going to get a better quality of grass, because it fertilizes itself. As to cost, it's really highly variable based on the application and how efficient that mower can be. 100%, these robots will be substantially less expensive than any other way of mowing. If you're a DIYer, you probably need to attribute some dollar amount to your own time, even if it's a little bit. You just, okay, I'm gonna attribute $25 an hour to my own time to mow. You're still going to save a substantial amount of money. So a mower like this would cost, and these are being released soon, but a mower like this for the 2 acres to purchase outright would be in the neighborhood between $4,000 and $5,000. There's a little bit of installation. We also put many of these mowers out on service agreements where it's just a monthly cost.
And so it's owned by, like you said, you partner with certain landscaping companies. The landscaping companies own the units.
That's well, in the landscaping companies we partner with, we own the units.
You own the units.
The landscapers do. The landscapers continue to bill the customer, and we bill the landscaper.
Yeah,
we take care of the robot. We take care of the mowing.
Yeah.
If there's a homeowner who decides, hey, we really want to do all of our routine maintenance ourselves, we'll hire a company to do if we're doing lawn treatments or pruning or mulching, the heavy stuff we want someone else to do. But we can take care of, if we have a robot, we'll take care of the string trimming and blowing off the hardscape. We could put out one of these mowers on anybody's property just for a monthly cost.
Right.
And so and that monthly cost for a mower like this, so when we're talking about big grass, not smaller properties, may run about $200-$250 a month.
Okay.
So, on a smaller property, we could put mowers in for as low as $100 a month. And then that would be not 12 months out of the year, 8 months out of the year. And then we store the mowers, we'll winterize the mowers, we service the mowers. If something breaks, we fix them. So that's kind of like a full service package.
That's interesting. So if somebody didn't want to necessarily have it on their property, or let's say someone just wants to try it. Let's say they're listening to this and they're like, yes, I've heard about it. all my European friends are doing this. I want like but they want to try it. They want to see
Sure.
maybe are there certain properties where it's not, it's not a good fit, or or just that are more complex.
Yes.
Yeah. So
There are things that are more complex. So there are few properties where robotic mowers won't work anymore.
okay.
And that's fairly recent because
Mhm.
so a few years ago, Husqvarna was really the only game in town. You had the Echo Robotics was
Mhm.
also around, but they're really big mowers. We put
Mhm.
those out if it's like 10 acres or more. And the technology was such that the mowers can only mow fairly level ground. So you've been out, well,
Yeah.
you purchased our house with us.
Mhm.
Our property has some slope to it,
Mhm.
and a regular robotic mower wouldn't work on the steep slope particularly well. We
Okay.
now have all-wheel drive mowers that will essentially mow the equivalent of a double black diamond ski slope.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
I've been in conversation with some landscapers who said,
Mhm.
you have properties where we need to carry in a push mower
Mhm.
because we can't drive anything on how steep these areas are. And
Right.
even with the push mower, it's a challenge. We have
Mhm.
to go sideways
Yeah.
and kind of be careful. We can't go
Yeah.
straight up and down. Well, we could just put a robot out there and it's going to
Mhm.
take care of everything because they're like mountain goats. So
Mhm.
now those will work very well with, the mowers will work well on steep slopes. Also, some years ago, the technology for guidance was
Mhm.
and I alluded to it earlier, an underground dog fence, and essentially
Oh,
just a
yeah, yeah.
wire that's buried around the property. And so we come out and we trench that wire in for the mow area, and we
Mhm.
can also set the mower for how far over the wire to drive.
Mhm.
So that's how the mower knows where to
Where to
mow.
go. Yeah.
They also have GPS,
Mhm.
so they know generally, okay, I was out, I did this area, this area, this area. The next time I'm out of the charging station, I'm going to go to this area that I haven't done in the
Right.
longest period of time. The
Yeah.
problem with our kind of traditional GPS is it's only accurate to about a meter, right?
Mhm.
That won't work for landscaping. We
Mhm.
need better accuracy. Well, a few years ago, probably about 4 years ago, Husqvarna first came out with what they call their EPOS mower, which is uses RTK technology, real-time kinematics.
Mhm.
Essentially, what it does is there's a triangulation between a known fixed point,
Mhm.
satellites, and the mower. And the GPS, the end result is that GPS signal that was good to 1 meter accuracy is now good to an inch accuracy.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if we're able to put those GPS mowers, the RTK mowers in, the wireless mowers in,
Mhm.
we don't need the perimeter wire. It's
Mhm.
not this random mowing, but we can do stripes and patterned mowing. But there still are some constraints to putting those onto a property, and those constraints mainly is getting, or the constraint is getting a clear line of sight from the mower to the requisite number of satellites in order to get that geolocation.
I see.
Um, so the things that will interfere with that, with the satellite signal,
Mhm.
trees. It's
Mhm.
actually the leaves on the trees. It's the water in the leaves on the trees that will interfere. If we have either a U shape or an L shape within that U or L, there
Mhm.
can be, we don't have
Yeah.
that good line of sight to the sky from the robot, so it can also get lost, not know where it is. And so there's some, particularly on the residential side, some constraints to using the wireless mowers.
Mhm.
But over the last couple of years, the various companies have been
Mhm.
coming out with secondary guidance. So if we
Mhm.
lose our RTK, our satellite signal,
Mm.
we may use a binocular camera, V-SLAM technology, so we can see where we're going by camera.
Mm.
Or what Husqvarna is doing with this mower is they put the radar up front. So
Right.
we'll be able to see where we're going with radar
Mhm.
when we can't see where we're going because the satellite signal is blocked.
Yeah.
And so that technology is every year getting better and better.
Yeah.
I would anticipate that within the next 3 to 5 years, there won't be a property that will need a wired solution anymore. They'll all be wireless because the supplemental vision technologies will make up for that.
Improve. Do you charge them like a car in the garage?
They're like a Roomba. So
Okay. Yeah.
they when the mower is down to roughly 20% charge, it goes home. It charges itself up, and once it's charged up, it goes out again. If it's of the wire type, it will start out to the general area of where was mowed the longest to go. If it's the pattern mower type, the wireless type, then it will resume precisely where it left off doing the pattern. And you can also pick your patterns, right? You can do horizontal, vertical, diagonal, checkerboard. You pick what you want, and you can vary what you want on the phone app.
Are regular traditional landscaping companies, are they marketing this? Are they introducing clients to it? What is,
Not many are. There's one of the premier landscape companies in our area, Nature Works, has been in this business for years, where they've been giving their customers a choice. We can robotically mow your lawn, or we can use a traditional mower. It's up to you. So they have a fleet of mowers out. Varsity Lawn Care is and owned by a Dover Sherborne grad. Is both marketing. He owns some mowers. He subcontracts with me to do some, and he is also all electric, other than the cleanup. So he's a very environmentally sound landscape contractor. There are out on interesting, kind of interesting niche. There's I have a counterpart on Martha's Vineyard who has penetrated very well the landscaping market, and so he doesn't sell any of his mowers, but he has a fleet of hundreds of mowers that are essentially they're subcontracting the landscapers are subcontracting the mowing to him. And so he has his guys out with deploying the mowers, and they live on the property for the mow season, and then he takes them in at the end of the season, just as we would do and we do here, and services those mowers. So we're in conversations with some other very, very local landscaping companies in order to adopt the technology, and that's a work in progress.
I'll make sure that I include links to those companies in my newsletter when this is posted, so people know, because I know, like, green technology and green building, it is a thing. When I mentioned to you, I was in a meeting with a whole group of fellow realtors, and we were having a presentation from a landscaper. And when this issue of electronic mowing came up, it's like the whole room started, talking about it and was really excited about it. But, it's like, people, there's an interest in it. There's a passion or a commitment to it. And then there's the actual, the people that are actually, building, and putting in geothermal heat. I sold a house this year with geothermal heat, and that was huge. There's not too many of them in Dover, but there are homeowners that are doing that. And occasional builder, a custom builder will do it. But anyway, when it's the talk of the town. If that, you know what I mean? Like, it's very, it's very exciting for people, not only, for the sustainability, but also just, one house, there's a property on Main Street in Dover that has, I'm like, this entire house was built, and that if you bought it, you would not have any utility bills. Like, that's a thing, it's wild. Like, so from just at the economics. So this feels like, it's on the outside, but it's related. And I think a lot of people what's going on over in Europe? Why are they on the, why are they doing this and we're not?
Yeah, well, we are behind
Yeah.
on, my last gig as a lawyer was in the solar space,
Right.
right? And we were the world's largest solar company building utility scale power plants.
Mm-hmm.
And we were behind in the United States. Where
Yeah.
did we start as a company? We started in Italy and Spain, building our solar fields, our solar farms. And that's where we got that. And then, you talk about the solar resource. There's not a great solar resource in Canada. That's where we went next.
I see.
It was fairly late that we started building these big power plants in the United States, in California and Arizona and Texas, and Nevada. We do tend to be in technology later adopters. And, to your point with the homes, my guess is those homes with geothermal, homes with solar, it's an amenity, it's a plus, but it doesn't add price, right? It doesn't, it's like, hey, I can't charge more for my geothermal for this house. I can't get more because I have geothermal. It may be the difference that has somebody buy my house because they really like the fact that there's this geothermal. But I don't think we've gotten to the point of actually paying up for these things, moving into real estate and paying up for them, which I think is different from commercial real estate, where, how many years has it been where companies have been paying a premium to be in a LEED certified building? And so if you look at the studies, if you're a LEED certified building owner, you're going to get a premium. You're going to collect the rent premium because the commercial tenants are willing to pay that premium to be in a more sustainable building.
Yeah.
I don't think that has kind of gotten to us residentially yet. And certainly outdoor care will be, I think, far behind that. I think first it will be solar and geothermal and things that are kind of the much bigger ticket items.
Well, yeah, I think, that's very, I have a client that left over recently actually and is building a sustainable house on Cape Cod, like built from the ground up. And I'm fascinated. So I'm definitely going to be sending your information. I'm not sure what the lawn situation is there, but I think this is just, it's so timely. And I think a lot of people would love to hear about it, especially also younger people, millennials, who are the ones that are buying now, who are coming into the housing market for the first time, and who maybe are a lot of raised awareness around this. They want the suburban thing. They want the lifestyle, if you will, or, the many things, the quality of life, but maybe they have a little bit more of like an awareness around this and prioritizing it. So I think it's, just very, very, very relevant. Okay, well, I really appreciate this. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me. I actually wanted to circle back to, because you had asked a question that I didn't fully answer around if somebody would want to just try this out. So in season, when the grass is growing
and there's no snow.
When there's no snow, and anybody can kind of get in touch and stop by. We now have in Dover a few robotic snow blowers that are operating. We have one at our house, so if anybody wants to come see that when we have snow, we'd be happy to show that to them. It's this is our third winter in trialing this particular product, and this is the first year where it's performing beautifully. So they've been making improvements over the years, and this is a good year for it. But when the grass is growing, we will have at least one mower at all times out working. And so they can see what it does, how it works. They can walk on the lawn. They'll actually feel compression as they walk. It's almost like walking on a damp sponge when they're walking on the lawn, because it's not compacted. We have for years, we haven't had heavy lawn mowers riding on the lawn, which pushes down, the soil, the topsoil. It just feels very springy. And then if somebody wants a longer term demo, we could arrange something where we do a temporary installation and charge them kind of on a month to month basis, and they
Yeah.
can pick it up for a month or 2 months just to say, is this for me? Yeah.
That's cool. It'd be cool if maybe one day, at the library, you can like rent out like a chocolate fountain and like all like that. The library is like, it's off the, like that list of non-book stuff that you can check out is like a thing. And someone was just saying to me like, oh my gosh, I can't remember what something that you never, some sort of technology, but they're always adding to that and they have a nice healthy budget. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. I might give them one. I didn't even think about that, but that's a great, I mean, they're not, the mowers still are not, there's even the wireless mowers, I guess I feel more comfortable with being able to at least consult with somebody setting it up, even if they want to set it up themselves. It's there's still a little bit of, so it can be some trick. It's not so much plug and play, but even if it's that, hey, these are available, maybe I give one to the library, but please give them my information because I want them to talk with me when they're doing the install to, see how that's worked. That's a great idea though. If anybody does want to see kind of in Wellesley we put on their sprayed playing fields. We have one of the big Husqvarna mowers is out there mowing at the police station, Wellesley Police Station. We have one of the smaller mowers out mowing, working with Sherburne. Hopefully they'll get town approval to have laurel fields robotically mowed. And so if that is something that the residents approve of, then hopefully we would be seeing some mowers there this summer. And we have municipal, I mean, those are the closest to us, where people can see them, in action every day.
And so if someone wanted to get in touch with you, they can go to your website. Is that the best way?
Yep, website, robot-mow.com. They can email newenglandaos@gmail.com. Phone number 774-478-6221.
That's great. Well, I'll be sure to link everybody to these websites and contact information, and as well as show videos on my February newsletter, so people will be able to see it in action.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for having me and letting me wax poetic a little bit about robotic mowers.
Thanks, Michael.
Okay. Bye.